Hi folks, and welcome to class number 3, entitled Partners in Crime. My name is Bill Rafalski. Let's start with a quote from a book by Ron Miller called Mystery, a Celebration. In the book, shortly after the end of World War I, childhood pals Tommy Beresford and Prudence Tuppence Colley meet by accident by the exit of the Dover Street subway station in London and renew a friendship that was to have a profound impact on the mystery genre for generations to come. Out of work and nearly out of money in 1922, Tommy and Tuppence need to find jobs fast, but they want their work to have excitement. They form a partnership they call the Young Adventurers Ltd. The two are hired by the British government to track down a vital secret document. This pursuit puts them in immediate peril at the hands of spies and Bolshevik terrorists. By the end of the book, The Secret Adversary, Tommy and Tuppence are headed for marriage, and the whimsical duo are now known as partners in crime, a kind of British version of Nick and Nora Charles. Tommy and Tuppence Beresford are featured in several stories written by Dame Agatha Christie. Their first appearance is the novel The Secret Adversary, published in 1922. In 1929, Christie published the short story collection called Partners in Crime. Then in 1941, during World War II, Christie published a novel featuring Tommy and Tuppence called N or M? In 1968, Dame Agatha published another novel with Tommy and Tuppence called By the Pricking of Thumbs. In 1973, Dame Agatha published the last book featuring the duo, a novel called Postern of Faith. As described by Christie, Tuppence is charismatic, impulsive, and intuitive. Tommy is less imaginative and less likely to be diverted from the truth. In her Tommy and Tuppence books, Agatha Christie ages the characters in time with the world. Tommy and Tuppence are vibrant young people in the 1920s. By the time they are featured in Postern of Faith, the characters in their late 70s, early 80s. Their assistant, Albert, appears as a boy in Secret Adversary. Later, Albert is a hapless assistant in their detective agency. And in Postern of Faith, Albert is their butler. Tommy and Tuppence appeared in not only books and movies, but in 1953, the BBC Radio Hour created a series of radio programs with Richard Attenborough and Sheila Sims playing the Beresfords. In 1982, the television movie version of The Secret Adversary was released to positive reviews. And in 1983, a television series of 10 of the Partners of Crime short stories was released to great reviews. There was also a French film version of By the Pricking of My Thumbs, released in 2005. In 2006, the BBC made a TV version of By the Pricking of My Thumbs. The film uses Miss Marple and Tuppence to solve the crime. Tommy is away on MI6 business. In 2015, the BBC remade The Secret Adversary, and a TV version of the novel N or M? David Williams was cast as Tommy, and Jessica Raine was cast as Tuppence. The time period of the stories was the 1950s, which didn't work, and the reviews were terrible. The 1984 cast of Partners in Crime included James Warwick as Tommy Beresford, and Francesca Annis was cast as Tuppence Beresford. James and Francesca had co-starred together in an award-winning British television miniseries called Lily. Francesca played Lily Langtry, the famous singer. Francesca Annis won the BAFTA Best Actress Award for her part. Later, James and Francesca co-starred in a British television film based on the Agatha Christie novel called Whatever Happened to Evans? A British producer saw that film and told some of his investors, "We need to find that couple a series." The original title for the show was Tommy and Tuppence. Francesca told the producer that she would not want to play a character named Tuppence. The producer's response was that the show would be made with a lot of money. She would be given top billing and she would get to wear a lot of hats. She agreed to play the part. The movie The Secret Adversary was made first. The movie was a big television hit. The producer then agreed to make a whole series based on 10 of the stories in Christie's short story collection, Partners in Crime. All of these stories are set in the 1920s, also known as the Roaring Twenties. It was an era of dramatic fashion changes that emphasized freedom and joy, especially for women. Everything about these stories is high class and fun to watch. Francesca Annis was born in 1945 in London, 6 days after VE Day. She had a career that spanned 7 decades in movies, television, and theater. Her father was English, and her mother was of Brazilian-French heritage. From the age of 1 to the age of 7, Francesca lived in Brazil. As a child, she spoke Portuguese and English. Francesca was educated at a convent school, dreaming of becoming a nun, but training as a ballerina. Growing up, she studied drama at the Corona Theater School. She had bit parts in the 1950s and worked her way up to better roles and eventually became a member of the Royal Shakespeare Company. In 1963, when she was 16, she got her big break. Francesca was cast as one of Liz Taylor's handmaidens in the film Cleopatra. Francesca said, "My whole acting career began with Liz." In 1965, Francesca Annis got a big break on the stage in the West End in the musical Passion Flower Hotel. Based on a popular novel by Rosalind Erskine, the story is about an English boarding school for girls where they talk about losing their virginity. Their plan to accomplish this goal is to set up a service for a nearby local boys' school. It certainly was a taboo subject at the time, but was treated in a light manner. The music was written by John Barry of James Bond fame, and the lyrics were written by Trevor Peacock and Wolf Mankiewicz. The musical premiered in Manchester, England in July and transferred to the Prince of Wales Theatre on August 24, 1965. The show ran for 148 performances. In 1967, Francesca was cast in the British television adaptation of Great Expectations. Roman Polanski cast Francesca as Lady Macbeth in his 1971 film, Macbeth. In it, she performs Lady Macbeth's soliloquy in the nude while sleepwalking, tastefully done in shadows. Prior to Partners in Crime, Francesca Annis appeared in 2 science fiction films, Kroll and David Lynch's Dune. After her Partners in Crime series, Francesca played Jackie Kennedy Onassis in the 1988 TV movie The Richest Man in the World. In 2007, she was cast with a lead role in the British TV series Cranford with Dame Judi Dench. More recently, Francesca was cast in one of the lead roles in the British TV series Home Fires. Francesca's personal life was pretty tangled. In 1974, she began a 23-year relationship with actor-photographer Patrick Wiseman. Together, they raised 3 children, and the children were given the father's surname. Francesca and Patrick never married. During a stage production of Hamlet in 1995, Francesca Annis began an affair with Ralph Fiennes, her co-star. Ralph was 20 years younger than Francesca. Fiennes divorced his wife, Alex Kingston, to be with Francesca. After 11 unmarried years together, Fiennes and Annis separated. About her love life, Francesca Annis was quoted, "I like to have a big open canvas. I am a glass half full person." James Warwick, who played Tommy, was born on November 17, 1947, in Broxbourne, Hertfordshire, England. Before playing Tommy, James had leading roles in several UK television shows, including The Terracotta Horse in 1973 and the BBC science fiction horror serial The Nightmare Man in 1981. He also had a major guest role in the Doctor Who serial Earthshock in 1982. James also performed in television shows like The Onundin Line and Lily, and Iris Murdoch's The Bell with Ian Holm. James appeared in several adaptations of the works of Agatha Christie. Warwick has also worked in American television in guest starring roles in shows like Scarecrow and Mrs. King, Civil Wars, Home Improvement, Murder, She Wrote, Babylon 5, and Alias, among others. On a stage, he starred in An Ideal Husband and as King Arthur in the U.S. national tour of Camelot. He also played Brad in the Rocky Horror Show for the first year of its run in the West End. James Warwick is also an award-winning director with theater credits across the United States. For the past 12 years, he has served as the Associate Director of the Chester Theater Company in Chester, Massachusetts. He was the interim president of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Los Angeles in 2007 and 2008, and he directed several productions for their company series. In 2009, James Warwick was appointed president of Theater Arts in Hollywood, California. Recently, James returned to freelance directing at several theaters. In 2018, he directed Mothers and Sons for Shakespeare and Company in Lenox, Massachusetts. He was given an award as Outstanding Theater Director of the Year from the Berkshire's Theater Critics Association. His production of The Children by Lucy Kirkwood was taken to Broadway. The play received several Tony nominations, including Best Director of a Play for James Warwick. James Warwick did many other things. He was a voice actor in the 1999 hit computer game Battlezone 2 Combat Commander as General Armand Braddock. He also voiced Qui-Gon Jinn in several Star Wars video games and served as audio double for Liam Neeson. James was awarded the Audible Earphones Award for his recording of The Picture of Dorian Gray. The Partners in Crime story that I have chosen for us to watch today is episode 10, called The Crackler. Crackler is British slang for forger. Inspector Marriott asked Tommy and Tuppence to help him round up a gang of upper-class forgers. This gang specializes in forging small-value bills, which are easier to circulate. The forged notes have been showing up in the West End, and the police do not have high-class operatives who can infiltrate the gang. The police suspect Major Laidlaw and his French wife as the forgers, but they have little evidence. The Beresfords are instructed to focus on a posh, private gambling club. The case becomes more dangerous as they get into it. Next week, we will watch The Ambassador's Boots. In addition, we will also watch a 1-hour documentary called Being Poirot. This documentary is a fitting introduction to the actor David Suchet and how he became Poirot. Click on the link below to watch The Crackler. Enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me by email at billthemovieguy.com or call me at 440-478-5771. Thanks.